कुमार स्वामी नायकर गोंगो लुबू लटोका रेडियो फीजी 2 में पुराना गाना लगे हमें बहुत अच्छा लगे।
रेडियो फीजी 2 देश की धड़कन।
Good evening, Fiji. In this bulletin, tough Diwali for many Fijians. Water disruption affects Diwali preparation. And ministry warns against bamboo guns.
From the studios of FBC Suva, Jackie Smith.
The Festival of Lights is a joyous occasion celebrated by all Fijians regardless of their faith or religion, and it symbolizes unity. However, while there is still an atmosphere of celebration around the country, many say that this year's celebration has been greatly affected by the coronavirus pandemic. Koroi Tandolala reports many families are not going all out because of financial constraints.
FBC News spoke with a few Fijian families today who expressed that the COVID-19 pandemic has been a major hindrance to their Diwali festivity this year.
Me and my family, we don't have much for this Diwali, and what little we have, we use it to buy a few things. COVID-19 have affected us so much, but we are happy to reach another Diwali. We can't buy much as we don't have enough money. COVID-19 had a great impact on how we celebrate Diwali.
Just like not like before. We can't celebrate Diwali.
Despite the COVID-19 impact, Fijians are optimistic that the love and unity of the Diwali festivity will triumph.
We normally celebrate Diwali with our Hindu brothers and sisters, but this year, the celebration is not as big as previous years. No matter the current situation, we will celebrate and share what little we have.
We prepared some sweets and we will share it with our neighbors.
Most of people are not celebrating now.
Fijians have been urged to celebrate Diwali responsibly to strengthen bonds and reaffirm commitment to family, friendship, ensure goodwill and ensure a brighter future for the country. Koroi Tandolala, FBC News.
It's an upsetting Diwali this year for some Hindus as water disruptions has hindered preparations for the auspicious festival. Residents of Sakotha area and some parts of Dole Suva claim they have been facing water issues for the past 3 days. Residents claim they have been calling the Water Authority of Fiji office for several days, but to no avail. Venina Rakautonga with the details.
Residents claim they couldn't prepare for Diwali properly due to water issues.
These difficulties every year. I'm here for nearly 7 years now. These 7 years, every Diwali this thing happens.
Veer Kumar says water cutting trucks that are servicing them do not bring enough water for a settlement of about 400 houses.
This is the festive season. We are not washing the houses over here. We are just normal usage of the water. Nothing else. Then why are we not receiving water?
Other residents also raised their concerns.
See, this area has a lot of water cuts and the trucks are not able to come into the area. It's been happening for years because they go to areas on the top instead of coming to us at the bottom.
So we need water here. I don't know why they have cut our water. It's more than 2 days now. There's no water here. No trucks, no tanks, nothing. It's very bad.
Atish Kumar, a resident of Dole Suva, says his family's preparation for Diwali has been troubled by the ongoing water crisis.
I think everything is okay, but like with no water we can't do the cleaning. It's very hard because we have to have our shower, we have for the prayers, all these things. It's very hard.
FBC News has sent interview requests and queries to the Water Authority of Fiji on several occasions. However, there has been no response from them. Venina Rakautonga, FBC News.
While firecrackers, sweets and gifts are part of Diwali celebrations, people also express their joy by decorating their houses with lights. Energy Fiji Limited says amidst all the joy and excitement, Fijians must have safety precautions in place to ensure the joyous occasion does not turn tragic. Kritika Kumar reports.
During Diwali, consumers highlight the beauty of their homes with decorative lights and increase the use of appliances for various activities. Hence, Fijians should not overload the switches with the connection.
Sometimes, they take one PowerPoint and keep loading up so many lights that ultimately you could have an, shall I say, overloading situation, and then you could have a problem in your house.
The EFL has urged Fijians to take precaution and ensure electrical safety at all times. Patel says Fijians should engage services of a registered electrical contractor if required.
If you're doing it really in a big way, then it's very important that you get the services of an electrical contractor, registered electrical contractor, who will ensure that the lights are installed safely as according to rules and regulations.
So they go for cheaper products. They will go for a tradesman who will say, I've done the wiring for so and so, and I've done a good job, without even knowing whether he or she is a qualified electrician or not. But because we want to cut cost, so we say, I go and do that.
Patel says the electricity consumption on the Diwali day marginally increases compared to other nights. EFL has reiterated that Fijians need to use secured and safe extension cords. Kritika Kumar, FBC News.
The Mineral Resources Department has reiterated that homemade fireworks such as bamboo guns are not allowed in the country. Manager for Mines Division Raymond Mohammed says there have been instances in the past where individuals tampered with fireworks bought from shops. Mohammed says fireworks should not be used in the manner it is intended for, as they are not toys.
Which individuals are removing the pyrotechnic powder or content from the fireworks and trying to use that to make homemade fireworks. The Department Ministry would like to plead with all Fijians to refrain from doing this.
Up ahead, Prime Minister warns of opposition lies. And police identify new drug hotspot.
रेडियो फीजी 2 देश की धड़कन.
There is no need to bring the Great Council of Chiefs back because it has been politicized. Speaking during the Radio Fiji 1 and on the Prime Minister program, Prime Minister Vorenge Bainimarama says the reinstatement of the GCC will only draw us back. Sanyani Boiler reports.
The Prime Minister says members of the Great Council of Chiefs were the very ones who supported the coup in 1987, and this was against the vision to bring about peace in Fiji.
Some say the Mboselevu Wakaturanga brings about peace and prosperity. No, they were behind the 1987 and the 2000 coup. They cannot see the right path to take because it has politics.
He says the Mboselevu Wakaturanga was against most of the government's decisions, especially the aim to call everyone a Fijian.
The thought of abolishing the Mboselevu Wakaturanga came about when it went against most of the government's work in moving the country forward. This includes being a multi-racial country and calling everyone in Fiji a Fijian. It was also a major challenge in the work to lift the standards of Itauke people, their projects and other work they are involved in.
Bainimarama says some of the members of the GCC have their own agenda.
Government works to equally share least money. Some of the members of the Mboselevu Wakaturanga disagree because they want a large portion for themselves. These are some of the reasons why it has been abolished, not to keep us going back.
The Great Council of Chiefs was established in 1876 and was suspended by the Bainimarama government in April 2007. Sainiani Boila, FBC News.
The Fiji Police Force has identified another new drug hotspot. This follows the uprooting of over 1,000 plants believed to be marijuana in Tailevu last week. Sainiani Boila reports.
Police Chief of Operations, ACP Abdul Khan, says a massive 1,300 plants believed to be marijuana were uprooted in Nandaro, Tailevu.
We have also uprooted about 1,000 plus plants in Tailevu area. So it's not only Kandavu that we are looking at all over Fiji in terms of the drug operations that you are looking at.
Police last week also managed to uproot close to 5,000 plants believed to be marijuana in Kandavu as they continue with their drug raid on the island.
We have been pushing more officers into the drug operations as we speak now in Kandavu, As you've seen that this week, just 2 days ago, we pulled another 3,000 plus plants out. It's been uprooted. Kandavu right now is an area that we are intensifying our operations on, and we'll continue with it. But we have identified areas where we'll be moving our offices.
ACP Khan says most officers that are part of the drug operations are also part of soccer and rugby teams.
These officers that is currently in with drug operations in Kandavu, they are part of the soccer team from Rewa and Suba that were not only playing on field now, we have put them out for the drug operations as well, and they are currently doing the drug operations. Similarly, like we put our police blues and whites team that were up in Tukavesi during the Savu Sevens, so they were doing the drug operations and other community policing work apart from playing on field out there for rugby and soccer.
All plant samples have been taken in for testing as investigations continue. Sainiani Boila, FBC News.
A 20-year-old woman was arrested while drinking in the middle of Churchill Park in Lautoka with 3 other men during curfew hours. The 4 were amongst the 22 people that were arrested for breach of curfew restrictions in the last 48-hour period. 6 arrests were recorded from Friday 11 p.m. to Saturday 4 a.m. The Southern Division recorded 5 cases, while the Western Division recorded 1 report. The lone arrest made in the Western Division involved a 21-year-old man who was walking along Sukanaivalu Road after a grog session. The 5 arrests recorded in the Southern Division were made in Asinu and Valilevu. 2 men were arrested as they were moving around in a vehicle without a valid reason, while 3 men were arrested drunk and walking around in public. From 11 p.m. last night to 4 a.m., 16 reports were recorded. The Western Division recorded 10 cases, while the Southern and Eastern Divisions recorded 3 cases each. Success does not happen overnight. It is the culmination of one's hard work, shedding blood, sweat and tears. This has been a motivating component for 55-year-old Tomasi Vakandranu, an engineer, fisherman and captain. Now an owner of a fishing vessel berthed outside the Suva harbour, Vakandranu's dreams continue. Venina Rakautonga with tonight's success story.
Growing around older family members who were seamen, Vakandranu knew he had to pursue the same dream.
And then we used to go and visit him. That what made me to be like, I want to be a sailor. And then when I finished school, 1985, I failed Form 6. And then I went to ICA Corporation to join, like it was a government kind of fishing fleet.
After failing Year 6, Vakandranu did not give up. He worked for a shipping company that took him to Vancouver, where he started a new life and bought a fishing vessel.
So I knew the history of this boat, and the guy who built it, his name too was Thomas, like me, Tom. So I did a lot of research on this boat, and the metal used was kind of C10 plate.
It was not all rainbows and butterflies for the Madhawata gentleman, as he had his share of struggles.
My life is full of mountains. You have to go through mountains. And like from Vancouver, like from Fiji, doing all my careers here, going to Vancouver. Vancouver was like a promised land for me.
Vakandranu says he wants to be able to give back to the community.
I'll just go and buy fish from the islands and then sell to Suba, and at the same time kind of provide them groceries, and I try to make it cheap as possible so that the villagers get some kind of advantage from me, like I'm giving back to the community.
Vakandranu says hardships is good as it paves the way to success and makes a person stronger, a setting stone towards great heights and achievements.
When it gets hard, it's good, because out of that hardship, there is something good and beneficial to you in that particular hardship you're going through.
Venina Rakautonga, FBC News.
Coming up in sports, Suva hooker wins Skipper Cup for bedridden son. And Terminator struck by hitman.
Pula nadang go approach lang karse, go erkraki. Radio Fijian,
Radio Fijian, nandomo hivi.
The Ramsamy Suva fans may have celebrated last night's Skipper Cup win. However, there was mixed emotions for one of the senior players. Former Flying Fijians hooker Sireli Lendua is one of the players that featured in all three wins. Last night, the capital city side played for Lendua and also someone very close to him. Aquila Dama with the details.
While fans enjoyed the golden moment last night, Suva players went back to the changing room where Sireli Lendua thanked the team for playing for him and his hospitalized son.
It's quite emotional. First of all, it's the end of my career in local competition, and also my son in ICU, the PICU, the children's ward, and I'm grateful that I managed to see him today before I come and play in the final.
Lendua says he could have quit and not play, but he had to do it for his son.
Now seeing the condition, and I've spoken to the doctor before I came, and the doctor assured me that they will do their best, that I should focus on the game, come and play, and then come back and I'll see him, whatever, they'll try their best to save my son.
These players knew from the start they had to deliver for their former captain and his family.
We have to make mention to the boys that we have Lendua's son up at the ICU, and this game is going to be for him. And on top of that, he's anticipating to retire from provincial rugby.
Lendua and most of his teammates will play against each other in the next few weeks for the Sukuna Bowl. However, for now, they can celebrate their three-peat. Aquila Dama, FBC Sports.
Just like the main match, the Under-19 final was also closely contested, with only a point separating the two teams. Nandronga defeated Namosi 14-13. Here are the tries.
And it's been touched down now. Jack Vola, he throws it through. Now it's a foot race to the try line. Will this be the first points? Someone has gone through for Nandronga. Good work here by the Namosi forwards. They inching closer. Look at Komaila Vuka with the ball at the back. He's trying to burrow his way through and he dives over. Off it goes, Wasayado. They should surely go here. He won't be denied this time. Wasayado.
Argentina created history last night after beating the All Blacks 25-15 for the first time ever. The staunch defence set up a historic win at Banks West Stadium in Sydney, Australia. Chese the hitman Ravundi claimed the World Boxing Foundation Asia Pacific Super Welterweight title after an emphatic win over Ronald the Terminator Naidu during the main bout of the Kirin Boxing Promotions in Nandi last night. Ravundi won by a technical knockout in the 9th round as their rematch lived up to the expectation of the fans. Felipe Naikaso has more.
Natasiri boxer Chese Ravundi fought clinically as he picked off Ronald Naidu from the 6th round.
I already told you last week that if I'm going to let the fight in the judge's hand, I'm not going to take the win. So I'm just going to go for a knockout.
Ravundi also managed to hurt Naidu's right eye in the 6th, and in the 9th round, he had Naidu against the ropes as the referee stepped in to stop the fight. In another bout, Siliveni Nawai beat Abey Chand on points decision, but the Mulumulo boxer was not happy with the last-minute changes.
My win tonight came at a cost as I was training for another boxer, but he pulled out last minute, so I had to change my game plan for Chand, but I'm glad that I won.
Also, Alvireti Kayada won on TKO over Eroni Lingaloa as he continued his unbeaten run.
Christmas is around the corner, so I'll rest for a bit before starting my preparations, and I'm ready for anyone.
The organizers have also been praised for putting together a spectacular boxing show.
The two promoters who are here, it's not an easy task to actually do. There's a lot of funding that needs to be put in behind the scenes. They take a lot of risks, and it all depends on how many people actually turn out. So it's great. Thank you all for turning up.
In the only women's bout, Katarina Singh and Visila Kolitapa fought to a draw. Felipe Naikaso, FBC Sports.
Fiji Netball has announced its 25-member Fiji Pearls extended squad to prepare for the 2021 Netball World Championship. Among them is a 15-year-old Suva Grammar School student. Aquila Dhama has more.
Meet Elina Ndrikimbau, the youngest player in the 25-member Fiji Pearls extended squad, announced yesterday.
I'm so excited playing amongst senior players and experienced players. It has been such a wonderful experience for me as a young netballer, and I'm excited for what God has in store for me.
Just like Ndrikimbau, 17-year-old St. Joseph Secondary School student Avelina Navuye was surprised with her selection.
No, I wasn't expecting this because I'm looking at, judging from my age, I'm still young and I didn't expect this to be chosen in the squad.
Netball Fiji says the players were selected because they have the full package.
When we began this journey in March and we regrouped the athletes, we sort of we're looking for the holistic netballer. So it's not just stuff they're doing on the courts. I mean, they're showing us they're fantastic on the courts. We also need them to be working off the court because that's where they spend the majority of their time.
Meanwhile, the Lightning team won the Digicel Punja's Reset Netball Championship after beating the Flames 54-53 yesterday. Aquila Dhama, FBC Sports.
And in weather, cloudy periods with brief showers and isolated afternoon or evening thunderstorms over the northern, eastern and interior parts of the larger islands. Quick look at the weather map in the west. Fine weather prevailed in the Western Division today, and this will continue into the night. Good weather for some pretty fireworks as well. Eastwards from Pacific Harbour to Suva, rather humid day with a mixture of sun and clouds and a passing shower or two. And up north, it was a beautiful day with mostly sunny conditions. At sea, easterly winds 15 to 20 knots, fresh at times, moderate to rough seas. Turning to the tides, the next high tide is at 7:59 tomorrow morning, with low tide at 1:57 p.m. Sunrise is at 5:22. Now, our outlook for tomorrow, expect fine apart from brief showers over the eastern parts and interior of the larger islands. Elsewhere, mainly fine. And our further outlook, we're looking further on to Tuesday. Expect cloudy periods with brief showers over the eastern parts and interior of the larger islands. Elsewhere, fine apart from isolated afternoon or evening showers and thunderstorms. And recapping the main stories for tonight, tough Diwali for many Fijians. Water disruption affects Diwali preparation, and Ministry warns against bamboo guns. Now for these stories and others, tune in daily to our sister radio station Gold FM. Our poll question we're asking: have you already prepared your Diwali decorations? Visit our FBC website to answer. And you can send us newsworthy pictures and videos on email fbcnews@fbc.com.fj, via Facebook page FBC News and our Twitter page at FBC_news or hashtag FBC News. That's your news for tonight. Until tomorrow, from the team and I, have a safe, enjoyable and blessed Diwali.
Bula FM number 2 NSR.
Bula FM number 2 NSR.